Whenever dark is falling, you know the spirit of the party starts to come alive until the day is dawning. You can throw out all the blues and hit the city lights, 'cause there's music in the air and lots of loving everywhere. So give me the night, give me the night. A glass of wine, a little late romance. It's a chain reaction. We'll see the people of the world coming out to dance, 'cause there's music in the air and lots of loving everywhere. So give me the night, give me the night. So come on out tonight and we'll leave the others on a ride.
Is it working? Good deal. All right. Good morning, everybody. My name's Jacob Pickle. Happy to be back with you all today. We have our candidates for commissioner and mayor for the city of Lynn Haven with these upcoming elections. So kind of how today is going to run, we'll have our students in student government that come up, ask a question. You'll each have 2 minutes to respond, and then we'll pass it on to each candidate. We'll be able to answer the question. The questions aren't like race specific, so just about your goals for Lynn Haven and kind of moving forward. I'll start us off. Each will get like about 30 seconds to introduce yourself, your name, what you're running for, and anything else you want to throw in there. So feel free to just start down the line. Yes, ma'am. There you go.
Hello, thank you. I am Ellen Fields. I'm running for Lynn Haven mayor seat. I live here in Lynn Haven. I've just moved here a little under 4 years ago. I am a former director, administrator, CEO of a business, and I have a lot of administrative skills. And when I was seeing what was happening here in Lynn Haven, I decided I wanted to be the person to try and help everybody organize and get this city back together. So that is my main reason for running for mayor.
Testing. My name is Judy Tinder. I've been a commissioner in Lynn Haven for the last 4 years, and I'm hoping to make it another 4. I'd like to be present for the rebuild, of which in about a week, we're going to go out there with the ceremonial shovels and get started. My daughter graduated from Mosley in 1992. I've always been a big supporter. And I think this group, this club, is excellent. And today I hope we all speak the truth about what it's really like to be in government, because it's not all sunshine. And you're here to serve the people, and that's what I've done for the last 4 years, and I hope to do it for another 4. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity to come and share our platform and just discuss with you the various ideas that we have on improving Lynn Haven. My name is Jesse Nelson. I'm the senior pastor of Macedonia Baptist Church in Panama City. I'm obviously a resident here in Lynn Haven. Even if you don't elect me as mayor, you'll see more of me on the campus in the fall. My daughter will be a freshman here, and so we're very excited about that. She got her MAPS package yesterday, and her mom, they sat down and they figured out what class she's going to take without asking me. So I have to go home and see if I approve of those classes. But I'm very excited of the opportunity to serve as a pastor. I engage in the community through Anchorage Children's Home. I'm a chaplain for the Panama City Police Department. Sometimes I come here and have some discussions with some of the young men that are here as well. And I see being the mayor as an opportunity to extend that community service to Lynn Haven through my leadership and my experience and my education. And so I look forward to serving all of the residents. And for those of you who can vote, I humbly ask for your vote on or before May 18th. And if you can't vote, encourage those who can vote to vote for Jesse Nelson for mayor of Lynn Haven.
Good morning. My name is Brian Dick. I'm also a resident here of Lynn Haven. Been in Bay County since '79. Went to all the schools here, Rutherford, James. Nothing in Lynn Haven, unfortunately. The reason I'm going for Commission Seat 4 is I believe that I have a lot to offer the citizens here, and it's the citizens abroad. It's not a certain group or certain area. I'm going to represent everybody, large and near, far and near, and humbly ask for your support. Looking forward to getting to know you guys, and thank you for holding this for us. This means a lot. Thank you much.
Good morning, young people. I'm George H. Hines, Jr. I'm running for office, Seat 3, Lynn Haven Commissioner. I'm retired military. I did 21 and a half years in the Army. I had more leadership than I needed. I've been in every position from a private to a first sergeant. I have a son here at your school, so you all know him, Coach George. He got a lot of whippings when he was young because he needed them. None of the people these days don't get that kind of stuff. But also with Habitat for Humanity, we build houses for people that cannot get a traditional house, and they're needed in this community. We need more affordable housing. We're the only people in the county that build true affordable housing. And I expect to get your vote. If I don't, I would appreciate you anyway, because I love everyone. Thanks.
All right, thank you guys very much. So we're going to start with a question from this side. Yeah, hold up.
Hello, I'm Sarah Grace Noble, and I'm the senior class president here. And my question for y'all is that the recent graduating classes of both Mosley High and other Bay County schools have produced remarkable students and professional-ready people. In order to continue to grow the city, some of these students must return and live and work here. How do you plan to work towards making the city a better place to return to after students graduate from Gulf Coast, Florida State, or other universities in and out of the state of Florida?
Thank you for that great question. As an educator, I think that was one of the issues that I put on my platform. We, in the next couple of years, are going to have Tyndall and the Navy work with us. They're getting 1,400 military, which means the entire families. And so what they're going to bring here is a lot of business. And where am I going with this question? They need people that we have to give jobs to. People that need science, technology, engineering, math, art. And so all of you students going to college right now, you have the potential in the next few years to get into these programs, and actually we can start that now because the government funds them. And when you graduate and you come back, there will be a pipeline of jobs waiting for you all to step into if that's the field that you want to enter into. So that's a really good perk. And again, I want to emphasize the fact that the government will sponsor you and, you know, sometimes pay for your tuition or further your education. So it's something to look into, and you should all keep your eyes out if you see it on the news or if you see Lynn Haven promoting this. It's something that we want to start with children as early as 14 years. A lot of people have potential to, you know, get tested in these programs, and we can see how we can build our community because obviously we have to, you know, grow, not grow too much, but what we want to do is we want to keep the people that are already living here here. We don't want to have to export people from all over the country to take your jobs that you could potentially be making a lot of money with. By the time you get out of college, you'll be thinking about having a family and a home and things like that, and, you know, we'll have all that ready for you and set up. Thank you.
And that is a very good question. One of the things, the reality of life is not every child's going to go to college. Some will. Some will go to college for very specialized fields. And possibly we might not have those here. I think trade schools are a huge help because not everybody is going to be a teacher. We need other things. We need auto mechanics. We need welders. We need things that people go to trade school for. We have a lot of business here in Lynn Haven now, and right now we have a real crunch to even get help. You know, I know that college kids, because college kids, after you come home, you certainly don't probably want to go to work at Whataburger. I get it. But you know what? It depends on what your goals are. If you're looking for money and benefits, you should never be embarrassed to go to Whataburger and say, what do you pay your managers? What are the benefits? Do you know, do IRA? Do you have those type of things? I know from my daughter's experience, Target was a great place to work, and they might still be, because they had great benefits. We have more industry that's going to end up here, in Lynn Haven, which might be for some, and it might not be for everybody. But I always encourage everybody, once you get out of school, life is going to change big time, and it's probably going to change 3 or 4 or 5, 10 times before you end up where you're going to end up. I'm part owner in a restaurant in Lynn Haven, and we are blessed to be able to keep 10 people employed full-time. And for us, that's our goal, to have as many people employed as possible and have them happy at their job. As you go through life, you're going to find out you may take on many
Thank you, Ms.
jobs that you hate, but you're going to find ones that you belong in. Thank you.
One of my platform priorities is to prepare for the future, which does include economic development. And so as a father with young children, I do want them to go off to college, if that's their desire, and actually come back and live in Lynn Haven. I don't want to travel very far to see my grandkids, so I would like for them to be close by. But one of the things that I would like to do in regards to preparing our economy or growing our economy is to really promote entrepreneurship. One of the things I've noticed in going to college is that when you go to college, usually they're preparing you to work for someone else and not necessarily preparing you to work for yourself or to establish your own business. So what I would encourage our students that are graduating, going to Florida State, Gulf Coast State College, the other universities in Florida or out of state and looking to come back home, is to come back home not just ready to work for someone else, but ready to establish new businesses in our community, because that's what's going to stimulate the growth. If we can have you to establish 10 new businesses with 10 employees, that's 100 individuals in our community that have been employed versus us trying to draw in one manufacturer that can hire 100 people. And so that's what I would try to do in regards to growing our community economically and providing opportunities for our young people that are graduating from college and coming back, is create your own path. Envision your own dreams and put those things into action. Currently, my wife and I are small business owners. We own Coastal Massage and Wellness Clinic. That's something that she envisioned. So she did go to trade school. She went back to Haney Tech. Now she has a master's degree in business, but that master's degree was not able to be used here in Lynn Haven. And so she went back to Haney Tech, received her certificate, and now she's able to actually use that master's of business in operating our business. And so I would just encourage you not to just think, who am I going to work for, but how can I work for myself and employ others? And I think that would be a great way to help our community economically.
If I may, can you just repeat the substance of your question again?
What are you planning to do to help grow Lynn Haven and to get people who have gone off to college to come back and want to work here to grow the city?
Okay, thank you. I remember when I graduated, I already had it predetermined that I was going to go into the military, and I did. But I came back home. This is where my family is. This is where I wanted to live. I love Bay County, I love Panama City, and how it's represented. When you go off to college, and I have a daughter right now that's up at UAB and getting her degree in psychology, for her field, being sort of medical, her doors are wide open. She can do many different things. If she decides to come back here, she may be able to get into VA. She may be able to get into a practice with another doctor or something like that to help. She may be able to get on a crisis hotline or something like that and help and build that here. There are so many different avenues that are open for you guys. And it all depends on your drive, what you want your life to be. And like Ms. Tinder said, that's going to change so many times. And just always be true to what you want to do, but bringing you back home, building this community is what is needed. Lynn Haven is going to grow. It's inevitable. As the world grows, as society grows, everybody has to grow as well. So we're going to grow in population. We're going to grow in size. We're going to grow in infrastructure. We're going to grow in developments around Lynn Haven. You can choose to be a part of that if you want, or you can choose to do whatever you're passionate about. Ultimately, getting you back here, having you open your mind for your dreams and your goals and your aspirations. If you wanted to be a business owner, be a business owner. We're always going to be welcoming of everybody and anybody. So to ask what we can do to help you flourish, always stay open-minded, always stay engaged, always be there for everyone. Don't ever subjugate yourself to a certain classification of people, because when you do that, you diminish the ability you diminish the ability to grow. So I would encourage that. Thank you for that, and good luck.
Thank you.
In a line of 5 people answering the same question, it get kind of redundant. I'm not a man of a lot of words. I'm not an orator. But the idea is to go to school, trade school or college, and make money, and make your money make money. If you don't put your money to work, you're going to be poor the rest of your life. Make money, and then you can do whatever you want to do as long as you're happy. So don't look for Lynn Haven to make a job for you. Come to Lynn Haven to make a job for yourself. Once you finish what you want to do, education-wise or work-wise, then you can create jobs for other people, and you can be in charge of the whole system. That's the basic of what everybody up here just got through saying. So in order to make jobs in Lynn Haven, it's almost impossible without the citizens of Lynn Haven. So if you give us the right or the position to be in charge of Lynn Haven, we can change things, and new jobs will just develop on their own. I appreciate the question.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we're going to start with a question over there and answer in the reverse order, starting with Mr. Hines.
Hi, I'm Courtney Mathis, and I'm the junior class vice president. And my question is, how would you resolve the custodial problem within the schools?
That's a good question. Now, the custodial problem in the school starts with the school itself. If you didn't throw trash down, they wouldn't have to pick trash up. So you should ask yourself, why is the school trashy? Because you are not doing your job. Your job is to clean up behind yourself because you don't have a maid. You don't have a janitor. You have a janitor that works for the school system. The school system right now is short of funds, so they say. So they hire the people that take the job, and sometimes when you apply for a job, they take 3 quotes and they take the lowest quote. You take the lowest qualified person, you're going to get the lowest qualified job. So if you want to get a good janitor, pay a good janitor a good wage, and you will have a clean house. But if you clean up behind yourself, you won't need a janitor.
Man. Yeah, where do you go from there? Okay, I'll try. I'll say show respect to your facility. The school I came from, Rutherford, is a beautiful school. It is. It's an older school, very diverse school. Mosley was always been the top school in Bay County. It just always was. You guys had the best football team, baseball team, basketball team. I remember playing against Gene McGuire. I think he's on your wall of fame, and he ended up going to NFL. Anyway, but if you clean up after yourselves, you pick up after yourselves, it makes it a lot easier. And I think that it's. I can't really answer anything after what he said. It's just amazing. But yeah, that's what I would say is just be respectful of your institution that you have here. It's a beautiful one.
So if I'm mayor of Lynn Haven and you contact me about a custodial issue, then I would contact Mr. Bullock to let him know that the students are having an issue with the custodial problems at the school. Then I hope that he would resolve it. Because actually, as mayor, I really don't have jurisdiction over what happens at the school. That's really more of a principal superintendent issue. So there's not much leverage I could actually have other than having a good relationship with the principal. And this is really for any issue that's happening at the school. It would really just be me having a good relationship with the principal and the staff, and then just encouraging them to listen to the students. And if it doesn't get resolved at that point, they maybe have to take it to another level with the superintendent and downtown at the office. So that's what I could do is call Mr. Bullock and say, hey, Mr. Bullock, I'm receiving some complaints from students at your school about some custodial issues. Could you help resolve that? And maybe he could put together a cleanup crew of students that will want to go around and actually help pick up things at the school. And that might be something that y'all might have on a Saturday, like a cleanup day or something of that nature.
I've been thinking for the last 3 people here. I think I don't know if the problem is in your question that you're having problems keeping the school clean. That's not it, right?
That question came from teachers. I asked them questions that they would like to hear.
Oh, okay.
So, yes.
So it's from teachers. It's definitely an administration problem. We're going to throw it all at you. As far as cleanup and things go, I know that you can get really creative if you want. I used to drive a school bus. Drove it for years. Loved it. 3rd grade. 3rd graders do anything. They would have my whole bus clean before I ever got back to the garage. It was great. But I also brought a McDonald's once a week. And that was back when you could afford to buy everybody McDonald's. I think you could get creative and have a group of students, a little extra credit, whatever, help clean the rooms or help the janitors. I don't know how many janitors you have here. I would assume it's a lot more than one. So I don't know. I think I would have to have more detail because things aren't always as they appear. So I would have to get a few more answers, before I could really speak soundly on it. But I would get creative with it if I were you. Thank you.
That was a really interesting question. I loved all the answers, and I think my answer is a little bit of a combination of all of them. Whenever you have a problem, you don't look at the problem, you look at the solution. And so with what you're asking and what the teachers are asking, I think that you have the best resources here, you students. And I think that if we do get a volunteer group to get it started, you have to give them some kind of incentive, to say, look, this is what happens when you clean, this is what happens when you get involved. And see, then you become part of a little community in a group, and it becomes something that you all want to participate in. And I think, there's a lot of different ways, and I think everybody gave a really good answer, but Mr. Hines, yours was the best. But that's, a different way to look at it, that, try to get the students to volunteer, but use an incentive. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to come back to a question over here, and I've been told by the powers that be that we're going to cut our responses to 1 minute. So, all right, we got next question over here.
Good morning. My name is Christiane Schulte, and I'm the parliamentarian of our Student Government Association. My question is, what are your plans to improve local small businesses' visibility and support?
You're very quiet. Could you repeat that but come a little bit closer?
Sorry.
I didn't get the last 3.
What is your plans on improving small businesses' visibility and support in Lynn Haven?
Oh, I guess I'm first, right? All right, another good question. I think that the small businesses need a little perk here, especially after some of them not getting rebuilt and some of them need to be reopened. I think that those are the times that perhaps we can do the Saturdays where, shopping local, no taxes, to try to get people to come into town and just shop and promote those small businesses and, of course, eat. That's always the favorite. And so I think that's a really good way to try to promote that.
I'm going to really keep this short and sweet. When you go into business, you have expenses, and you also know it's your responsibility to let the community know that you're there. So she's sounding very generous and all of that, but I have no problem advertising my own business because I think it's my responsibility as the owner. But I love the shop on Saturday. You can do all kinds of special things to draw attention to small businesses. And I think right now the majority of them need it too. Thank you.
I've met with Ben Janke, the director of CRA, and so him and I have had this conversation about bringing more visibility to our small businesses. And so one of the ideas that he proposed was having sort of like a Shark Tank moment where small businesses could come in and maybe give some plans on something they're trying to do for more publicity. And if there are 20 businesses that come and $10 a business to talk about their plan, then whoever wins that night would get the $200 pot that was made available through their participation. I think another thing we can do, even on our Lynn Haven City Facebook page, is spotlight businesses that are in our local community. So I think there's various ways that we can bring visibility and encourage individuals to shop at our small businesses, because certain small businesses, I didn't know about Victoria's Last Bite until I went to Florida Avenue, or the coffee shop that's across the street until I went to Florida Avenue. And so I think just spotlighting certain businesses during our time or throughout the month would be a great way to bring more visibility to it.
That's a really great question. Thank you, and I'm glad for it. There is to kind of feed off of what Jesse said a little bit with Ben Janke. I know that the company I work for has their main office on 77. And I know that after the hurricane, it was torn down and had to be rebuilt. And I know that there are programs that are available to businesses for vitalization. Same thing with certain homeowners in certain areas. I believe that if businesses will communicate and connect with City Hall, create a relationship with them. Also, like Jesse was saying, do an emphasis on our page. Our website, I think, needs a total revamping, and I think it needs to be to where it's more user-friendly for residents, young and old, so all information is easily accessible. But to promote businesses, it's all going to be, as Ms. Tinder said, within that business to actually put themselves out there and determine, budget, what kind of marketing you want to be able to do those things. And some businesses that do really well, they may be able to budget a lot. Some that are just starting out may have a smaller budget, so they may not be able to do it. But we have a great corridor that can be promoted with a lot more detail for these businesses that are there.
We have a thing in Lynn Haven called the CRA, which is a community redevelopment area. They revitalize areas by painting and fixing up businesses. If the businesses go to the CRA, they can find assets that they need to do what they need to do with their businesses. Also, if you're a small business owner, you can advertise on Facebook for almost everything in the world. So if you advertise your need, the community will probably come to you and help you with your need. But if they don't know you have a need, they can't do anything for you. So the best way to do it is to advertise your need, swallow your pride, ask for help, and you'll get help. That's the best thing I can tell you to do. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's start with the question back over there.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Aviles, and my question is, since resident involvement is so important in the Lynn Haven community, how would you encourage new residents to get more involved?
Starting with Mr. Hines.
If we start from end to end, the people in the middle never get the first choice, but it don't bother me. If you come into a new area or a new place, being military, I never met a stranger. Everybody I met, I just walk up to them and start talking to them. Some people are introverts, some people are extroverts. Extroverts can talk to anybody, introverts only talk to people they know. So in order to get to know people, when you move to a city, you put yourself out there, you go to meetings, you meet people in the city commission, you meet people that down the street. Some of us have been in the neighborhood of Lynn Haven for more than 20 years and don't even know who lives next door to them. That's our fault, not their fault. They live next door to you, go over and talk to them. That's how you improve the community development and community relations in Lynn Haven and the city or the world. Thank you.
That's awesome, and I'm glad you asked that. So one thing that I would bring forward to the commission if I'm elected, which I've talked about this before, is during the city council meetings, we need to have workshops that are open to the public. And when you have that, you're able to engage, interact, question back and forth. It also brings more people out of their homes and tries to get them engaged with their city. We have the spring concert series at Sheffield Park. That's a great opportunity for people, new residents and those who have been here for a while, to get out, introduce yourself, interact with people, sometimes get out of your comfort zone. Those are some things that I have done because being in front of a bunch of people, whether it's just 15 or so or 30 or so, was never my forte. But I had to do it because this means so much to me. So engaging with the city is going to be watching the city open up avenues to get more engaged with the public, but then also having the public want to be more engaged with the city and see how we're moving forward.
As mayor, I would host quarterly meetings with the mayor, and so I would encourage those who are new residents to come out to get a chance to meet myself and to ask various questions that they might have about the city of Lynn Haven. I would also encourage them to like our Facebook page so they can stay up to date on the various activities that we have in the community. Mr. Dick did mention the spring concert series, so those are family friendly, and just really anyone can actually go to those, bring out your lawn chair, and just have a great time. I would also encourage them to check their utility bill, because when the utility bill comes in, there's also announcements on the back side of that you're not aware of what's actually happening in Glen Haven if you don't check that. And it's part of our responsibility to just make sure we communicate more with the citizens, especially with us having online payments now for the utility bill. You may not even look at it because you're saying my bill is already automatically paid. So I think part of it is going to be our responsibility in encouraging individuals to be more engaging, but also individuals just having a little self-responsibility to try to see how they can engage in the activities and the opportunities that we provide.
Well, when you first move to Lynn Haven, I think the number one thing is be a good neighbor. The minute you move in, be a good neighbor. You will automatically meet the people around you. Those people have a lot of information, for sure. I think depending on your age, your needs are different. When you're 16 years old, you're looking for entirely different things than our senior citizens who are 80. We have a great Facebook page. We tell you everything pretty much that's going on in Lynn Haven. Like, for example, we have a senior center where seniors can go every single day, all day long, play cards, do whatever it is they want to do, and concerts in the park and all the things that we have, the parades and whatnot. I think you have to just put yourself out there, meet your neighbors. People will automatically share with you what's going on. I'm a little reluctant. I'm going to be totally honest. I'm a little reluctant to really push the Facebook thing, and only because you've already learned, I'm sure, you can't believe everything. And some people live, and they think if they read it on Facebook, it's true. And so as long as you keep the context of that in line, I don't think it's a problem. But we have a lot of ways, and our city webpage is only going to get better. Thank you.
My answer is a little bit along the way of Judy's. I think that Facebook is not the way to always stay engaged with people. Yes, to meet people, but I think the same thing with the senior center. They have ideas where they have a center and they have different game nights, dancing, things like that. And I think what is missing, and somebody else down the road said, something good for the seniors isn't necessarily good for you. So we need to find something, what would make you kids want to come and participate? Something that's fun, dances, things outside, that you can all come, your family can come. If you don't want to come, you can stay home. But there should be a different variety, and a variety for different age groups. And I think that when you start meeting friends, then it starts to build, and that's socializing. And I think that's a good thing for our community, and we need to do more of that. Again, we need to have people that are leaders to say, I'm going to start this group. I'm going to start line dancing. And then, we find people that want to line dance, and then you have a great group of people. I line dance. So anyway, that's how I made friends too. But those are great ways to meet people in this area, and you'd be surprised how many people know other people that you get to know. And we have a lot of great citizens here, and those are things that you want to start becoming active. And I think it would also almost make you get off of Facebook a little bit more, because sometimes you just get so involved and so sucked up into the social media, and you're not enjoying your life. Lynn Haven is beautiful here. You should be doing all the things here, going swimming to the dog park with your animals, going as groups, as teenagers, doing all those fun things and enjoying our city. But you have to do it together and form a group. And if you want, I'll join.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so for this next question, go ahead and come up, and we'll start with Ms. Tinder and then keep on going to the left, and then we'll circle back.
Hi, my name is Emily Duncan. I'm the SGA Vice President. My question is, what would you do in the first 90 days if elected, or what would be your biggest priority to accomplish first?
Wow. There's so much to do when you're elected anyway, and you're totally governed about what you can and can't do. You can go in and make a lot of motions, but if they're not seconded, nothing happens. I'm only one vote out of 5, so you obviously have to have 3 people that think alike or that would vote along with you. I think right now we need to change the overall attitude of our city, and that would be one of the biggest things I would work on. I know everybody throws the word transparency around, but we have to be open and we have to be honest, and our government needs to run the exact same way, open and honest. And I think that would be my goal, and of course to keep working on corruption. And I hate to use that word, but I think we still have a ways to go there. Thank you.
Within the first 90 days, and I actually like to call it the first 100 days, one of the first things I would like to do is host a community forum within those first 100 days. Again, meet the mayor so that everyone can come and I can listen to the concerns, the suggestions that they have for the city. A second thing that I would like to do is actually meet with our city manager, budget director, and also our finance director to actually get an understanding of our debt that's in the city. That's been a great concern to several of our residents. And so if we can understand that debt and then maybe even host a workshop on it and allow others to provide us input on how they believe we can actually cut the debt down, maybe even have develop a small oversight committee possibly that could give us some suggestions on ways we can constrict our budget to reduce our debt. A third thing that I would like to do, because there's many questions about stormwater, is to begin posting online our stormwater projects, what projects we've completed, what projects we would like to do, and also what projects we can't afford to do at the moment. And so I would really like to improve our communication, again, sort of revamp our website so that we can easily navigate that. So just try to open up the lines of communication so that we can start showing transparency as well as accessibility and accountability to our community.
So, as I just mentioned just a few minutes ago, the first motion that I would try to make is adding a workshop for commission meetings. Commission meetings are held every other Tuesday of the month. One's in the morning, one's in the afternoon. Limited participation by residents, which is not good. It's just not. Everybody needs to be able to be heard, their voice spoken, their questions asked and answered. So if the commissioners get their packet, if you will, the Thursday before, I think that's a prime time to have a workshop for the residents. Make it 6 o'clock in the evening. That way everybody knows what the agenda is coming up. They can ask their questions on it, their concerns about it, and anything else that's bothering them. That is going to promote trust, that everybody's on the same page. It's going to show transparency, that everything's above board. So when you get to the commission meeting the following Tuesday, you already know what to kind of be expecting and what's going to be voted on, where kind of people stand. Now, as far as the times go, this city has to be ran in concurrence with its citizens. Citizens deserve and have the right to be at these commission meetings. I believe that at least no meeting should be before 6 p.m. People have jobs. They have families. And we work for you. You elect us. You're our employer. And I think that those two big issues are things that I've heard many residents, as well as I'm sure the commissioner has as well. This has to change.
Thank you, Mr. Dick.
Okay, that was it.
As I stated at the beginning, I'm military, so we do things logically. When I come into a new job, I do not make changes instantly. It may take more than 100 days, but the first thing I do is observe. I observe the policies and rules that they have there, and I find out why they are the way they are, because the way we always done it is not always the answer. Sometimes you need to do it a different way. So I will have a meeting with the city manager, because in Lynn Haven, the government is ran by the city manager, not by us. The mayor don't have any power but one vote, same as the commissioners. City manager runs the city. We run the city manager. So we get with the city manager, find out how they're doing these development contracts, because you get 3 bids in order to do a contract. We got single bid contracts. We need to find out why it happened and what we can do about changing it. Now, as a city as a whole, we have 5 major parks in this city that we can have a meeting at besides the city hall. We need to think about diversification and going to the neighbors instead of having the neighbors come to us. We can set up a meeting in Kinsinger Park, we can set up a meeting in Kane Griffin Park, we can set up a meeting in different areas instead of always having everybody come to the city hall. That way we can make sure that everybody have an opportunity to come, because it'll be in their neighborhood. Lynn Haven is not just some small monopoly, it's a big city if you look at it. So we can do that, diversify our thought, diversify our people on the board. We'll have different ideas and we can do different things for the city. I appreciate the question.
One of the first things that I would do as mayor, I would try to make sure that we all understand what exactly our job is. Be very specific. And I want the citizens to make sure they understand what our job is and what their job is, and to make sure that they know that we are representing them, and if they have a problem, that we will be there. I think one of the other issues that is really not being addressed is before the board meeting, the commissioner meeting every 2 weeks, I think that the board members, commissioners, are not having enough time to read the material, to ask questions ahead of time, so that when they get there at the meeting, they actually know what the agenda is specifically asking, what is it addressing. And I find that to be one of the biggest communication problems right now whenever we have meetings. The audience is not informed. They're told, well, go look this information up. I would like to have a piece of paper, a paper trail to, refer to and say, well, this is the budget, this is wrong. I think if you visualize it, you can help fix a problem. And I think those are little things that if we perfect, I call it elevating the communication, I think that our citizens would not have these little pockets of anger because they feel that we're not addressing their needs and listening to them. And I agree, right now, some of them are not. They're making decisions that are, not for the citizens, it's what's best for the commissioners. And so we're going to turn that around if we are elected, because basically this will be almost a, half new, bunch of commissioners at the seat. So, but we have to get together and have like minds about that. One person can't say, I want to do that, great idea, and then the other 4 people say, no, I don't want to do that, because it's not going to work. Okay, it should be, yes, a majority, but they should be ideas that everybody bounces back and forth, and they should be the good ideas. And if something doesn't work, you can always say no. We're not saying, here's 10 ideas, you have to approve all of them. Take a few, what were the best, things to resolve.
All right, start with the question back over there, and we'll start with Mr. Dick coming this way. Or going to the left still, sorry.
All right, my name is Seth Michael Shamblin, and I'm the freshman vice president for SGA here at Mosley. My question's more specific. It's about the sports complex. Since the hurricane, not much has been done with it. What would be your plans for that?
Am I on here? Okay, thank you. Well, what is going on? And of course, since we have a sitting commissioner here, she could verify. If I'm not mistaken, the ball fields are going to be built first. And I think everything is going to be going into a stage mentality, if you will. Do one section first, then do another section, to make sure that there is always going to be enough funds there to continue the rebuild. I do know City Hall has a master plan of what the sports complex is going to look like. I think it's absolutely beautiful if we can get everything done that is being proposed. But the thought is that spring ball of next year will be taking place at the sports complex.
Oh, yeah, the plan is to pay as you go for Lynn Haven. That's what we're trying to develop now that we haven't had in the past. We have in the past budgeted, say, $6 million for a ball field and end up paying $8 million for a ball field because the way we contracted it and the way we always want to go out and get a loan to build something. We're trying to get the mentality where we pay as we go. So we may do 2 fields at one time and then do 2 more fields. But it's going to end up about 5 fields down there along with other sports. So it's going to be a fantastic area, and the city plan should be online. They talked about it 3 months ago, and it is a plan for that area, and it's just slow development to get all our funds together before we start, because we don't want to have to start and then stop and then start again, and that's the hold up.
I don't know a lot about the sports complex. I do know that one of the issues that really irritated me was that the flag was left there for over 2 years and not taken down. It was laying on the floor. That was disrespect for the flag. So I'm hoping that somebody went and picked it up by now, and took care of it. But as far as a plan, I think until things, go in their order of being rebuilt, there's nothing that we can do to push it along. And as the gentleman said, they're doing the fields first, and we have to wait in line because we can't fix everything at once. We have to wait until the funds become available. So, but it is something that we need to address sooner than later.
As a commissioner, the sports park, and you won't be happy to hear this, was not one of my priorities. I personally always feel that our police department, our city hall, and the buildings that people work in every day should have been the priority. I was in the minority on that, and we happen to have 3 male commissioners that are baseball lovers. So needless to say, like I said before, it's 3 votes. It makes things happen. The ballpark, we did vote to do it in phases. Phase 1 is like what everybody's been telling you. Phase 1 is the initial fields, and then we've got Phase 2, Phase 3, and Phase 4. The total cost of this ballpark is in the vicinity of $40 million. It is not going to be cheap. Matter of fact, we're going to spend about the same amount on City Hall, the police department, and all the functional buildings that we need as we are going to spend on the ball fields. And that includes a basketball, gymnasium, fields, skateboarding. I heard many, many things that they want out there. My goal is to only build as we have the money. Not money that's been promised, not insurance money that we've already been told is going to take 2 years to get. We had $23 million in insurance on the entire city. We have received 4. And the attorney told us just 3 weeks ago it will be at least 2 years before we see the rest of the money, if we ever see the rest of the money. We get FEMA money. FEMA money we have to pay up front, and then they reimburse us. So it all comes down to the same thing. It's all about money, really, and that's where we are. Thank you.
Prior to Hurricane Michael, I actually spent a lot of time at the sports complex. My daughter played softball, so I was an assistant coach for her, and I actually got the privilege of coaching t-ball. So that was really fun, telling kids to go the other way, to run around the bases. So really enjoyed that. And actually, it may not look like it, but I actually jog at the sports complex. And so one of the most disheartening things has been, since the hurricane, that for a long time nothing was done to the sports complex. That every day that I would go around jogging, or every other day when I would go jogging, I would see the dilapidated buildings, the tore up fields, the messed up concrete, having to jump over blocks of concrete in order for me to complete my run. In regards to what the plans would be, I've been able to meet with the city manager as well as the community services director to see the plans that they forecast for the sports complex, and I think they're wonderful. They're actually going to put in tournament size ball fields so that we can have baseball tournaments there. If there's an overflow from the complex at Panama City Beach, then we can host baseball tournaments there. They're also going to put in soccer fields, football fields, 2 gymnasiums, which we hope will be able to house a boys and girls club in the future, so that our students in the area can actually have an after-school program that they can go to, which will help increase our safety in the area. So students won't just have to be at home trying not to burn down their parents' house. They can actually go to the Boys and Girls Club and be watched as well. With the sports complex, from my most recent jog over this past weekend, some type of construction has actually gone underway. They're actually taking up the sidewalks that are there. So they're actually doing that, I think, on like Saturday morning. So from what I can tell, they have already begun construction on getting the ball fields prepared so that spring ball can be in 2022. So I think we have great plans in place from our city manager, community services director, and we just continue to promote those and get those in place so that we can all go back and enjoy our sports complex again.
Thank you.
All right, so this is going to be our final question coming from this side. We'll have Mr. Nelson start. We'll go to the left.
Hello, I'm Avery Grace Brock. I'm the senior class vice president this year. And my question is, ethics is a primary concern in all elections this year. Former city officials are facing legal consequences over mishandling city contracts, and there are ongoing investigations of corruption within government bodies. What steps do you support to ensure more transparency and accountability in city procurement?
As a pastor, I cannot maintain my job without ethics. And what I would recommend is that we continue to open up our books for the community. That's what we do at our church, so that we can encourage our congregation to continue to give to our church, is that we open our books and say, hey, we have meetings, we have budget meetings, finance meetings. Though there's a finance committee, anyone from the community or from the church actually is able to come to that meeting. So I think one of the ways is to make sure that we open our books so that individuals from the city can actually come in, ask questions, receive clarity on how we're actually spending our money. Also, to make sure we look back over our checks and balances. Obviously, these things happened in the past because we did not have a good checks and balance system. And so we need to look at our checks and balances now to ensure that those incidents don't happen again. How many times does a check have to be reviewed before it's actually issued? Who are the signatures on the checks? Who are the ones that approve these things? And so I think that we, as the commissioners, mayor, should also have a little more scrutiny in keeping up with what's actually happening. Part of what happened is our fault, or is the fault of the previous commission, because we didn't have a more watchful eye on those who are actually in those positions. And so I think that's something that we need to do to continue to build trust within the community, is letting the community know that, hey, we're going to be watching and seeing what those individuals are doing in those positions to make sure we don't have this problem again.
So, as I stated before about the workshops for, the commission workshops, the city of Lynn Haven has to open up. They have to be completely transparent. They need to be able to show the residents at any time, whether it be via the website or by an email, whatever the case may be. We have to be able to see the books. We have to be able to make sense of them, look at the budget, make sure the line items are adding up, making sure that everything that we have paid for was already discussed, approved, everything above board. We have to have that. I believe that the commission meetings, the workshops, I believe is the first huge step in that, because it does bring the public to the commission, opens up the dialogue, and will continue or start building the transparency that, yes, this administration that we got up here, this city manager, this finance director, this checks and balances person, the HR person, everybody's working in accordance. They're all working on the same, same field, the same team, and they're all above board. So having something like that, I think, is essential. Once again, mentioning the revamp of the city website, making it to where it's user-friendly, making it to where, whatever they just said in a commission meeting is automatically uploaded and available for any resident to take a look at. These are things that we have to do to earn the trust back from the citizens, because I know Mayor Pro Tem said it one time, and I've said it before, I'm tired of being punched in the gut. It's not right, it's not fair, and it's got to change. And we have to get away from the corruption. We have to get new faces in there and start setting a better precedent.
Having an ethical government is simple. The people give their rights to the people that they elect to control their money and their lifestyle. And once they get corrupted, you lose trust in them, and you can't trust the next person because you got baggage you're carrying with them. It's like a relationship. Once you get burned, You're going to be suspicious of everybody you date after that because you're going to think they're going to do the same thing. If we get elected, you're still going to have doubt in your mind whether we have ethics or not. And the only way we can relieve that doubt is to show you that we have ethics. Not talk about it, but do it. So before I decided I would run for office, I went to every department head in the city, and I told them I wanted to have an interview with them. And they asked me why. Nobody never done that before. Because I want to know what your job is, so before I talk about your job, I want to know that you know what your job is. Now, gaining knowledge gave me the insight that some people in department head jobs had needs that wasn't being met by the city. And if we don't meet their needs, then they're not going to meet their employees' needs, and then the city going to become lacking from that reason only. So ethics is only just doing the right thing. And if I'm elected to the office, I will always do the right thing, even if it have to be leaving the office, because I don't want to hurt you, and I'm not going to let nobody hurt me. So I'm there to protect you from the other people. The outside contractors, the city of Panama City, the county of Panama City. The county of Panama City does what's best for the county of Panama City. They don't always do what's best for Lynn Haven. So as your representative, I will be bucking heads with everybody above me and everybody below me to make sure they're doing what's best for you in the city of Lynn Haven. And that'll be my job. Thank you very much.
I have a very simple answer for you. I think the easiest way to attack our corruption problem is to get our city workers involved, to have them come forward, because I think if there was one source that could probably direct us on how we went wrong, it is all the different departments, and not just the managers and supervisors, but the employees themselves. There might be a reason that they're not willing to come forward or say something that they see wrong. And I think that maybe this is what needs to be addressed as soon as we get on. You need to say, is everything okay in your department? Is everything okay in your in the city here? And if everybody keeps saying yes, you know that's not the truth, because we wouldn't have corruption if people didn't already suspect that there was a problem. I think they should have the ability to come forward and say, I think I know where the problem is originating or starting, and I can fix it. And that's something that I would, direct my focus on.
I'm going to get even more basic than that. Say that you are a single mother, 3 kids, you work full-time job, and you get their hospitalization, those benefits that are so important for a family. You're asked to do something, and you work for city, you work for our city, and you're asked to do something. You know it's not right. You hesitate, you fight with yourself, and then you think of your kids at home, and you've got to have money to put food on the table. You invariably will say yes. I have talked to employees that said, I can't lose my job. I cannot afford to lose my job, so I have to go along and get along. That says volumes to me that we have got to get to the bottom of this. People that enjoy their job and love going to work present a whole different picture. And when people are ethical people and they're honest people and they feel like they're being compromised of their own ethics just to save their job, they're not happy. They're not happy. And we lose key people every day. And I think that's where we need to start. Thank you.
Candidates, thank you all so much. It was great to hear these young people in the city and looking to come back. Just your open and honesty about pressing issues and everything. We know you're not in the job for the pay. That's not what you're coming after it for. You come here to serve, and we appreciate your desire to serve. And thank you for being here today. It really means a lot. I know our students appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah. So let's give our candidates a round of applause for being here today. Thank you all so much. I believe that is everything. So, all right. There you go.